Oh, happy Saturday.
Oh, it must be Saturday.
It's Saturday. Look who's here.
Must be Saturday.
Joe, it's you just had that moment where you just woke up.
Yeah, I'm getting my questions ready for Mr. Page, and I keep it on my phone, and it's in front of us. We're up.
Mr. Page.
Mr. Page.
You might like that.
I haven't met him officially yet, so once I meet him, I'll call him Rhino.
Mr. Page.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you woke up, and look at that. You woke up here inside Rob's.
Yeah, I got up today, and I said, Saturday, another day up. Thank you, Lord, and Saturday, I'll see my friends.
Do you notice anything different about our friends?
About
friends.
Our friend.
Oh, glasses. I noticed the minute he came to open the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
I figured we'd address it on the show.
I need a shout out. Well, you both noticed. They're different. They're a little different.
You know what it is? Too, when glasses are new, they're like super shiny. They're beautiful.
He got his new face.
Jewelry.
I do have although on this set, I've got a glare happening. However, Naz, I have to say thank you to our friends at Williams Eyeworks.
Yeah, Williams Eyeworks.
Absolutely.
John called this morning and said, "Hey, by the way, your glasses are ready. You want to come pick them up?" I was like, you know what? I might not have time. Don't worry about it. I'll pick them up another day this week because I have a pair of sunglasses I also ordered. They weren't ready. And then Mom's glasses weren't ready either. So I then looked at the watch, and like 10 minutes later, I sent a message. I'm like, you know what? I could squeeze a few minutes. I have to go out. I have to go not too far. I might as well just do it. Pick them up. So
I see your fun.
And
yeah, I just noticed that.
I brought gifts from my friends. Joe.
See what's
There's
there.
one for each of us here.
Really?
Yeah,
I gotta move the tissue.
I walked over to Alfonso's.
Doctor.
That's really why you went to pick up your glasses.
Okay.
Not really. It just happened. You can pass those so she can see what's in the box.
You're gonna like this.
I know what's in the box.
Okay.
I know.
Well, they're not the donuts.
Okay.
It is
Let's hurry up with the show.
It is that little general, that little famous known general that they named the pastry after. There he is. Yep. Thank you, Frank.
He's tiny too.
Yes.
That guy.
Yes.
So I have to say thank you to Ryan, Chris, and John. And there were other people around picking up glasses. They make it very easy to go and do it, pick up. And I have to say, when I ordered the glasses, one of the things he asked, he says, "Hey, do you like your transitional glasses? Because the sun."
Yes.
I said, "Actually, I do. I don't mind them. I have a pair of sunglasses. The only thing in the sunglasses that I haven't liked were the polarization. Because when you look at a screen, your GPS, you look at your phone, or you look in the back mirror,
different.
You get this. It's weird. It's I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, I have never used
polarized.
I've never used any of that stuff on my glasses.
So on my sunglasses, so he made a recommendation for the sunglasses, but for these, the recommendation, he asked if I wanted anti-fog.
Oh, we talked about that on the show.
And I have
helpful
to
with the mask now too.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I never thought that I would want anti-fog glasses or want to need them, but when I put them on with my mask, I purposely did the. And you get like a
heavy breathing in the glass. Yeah, you get fogged up on the bottom.
Yeah, you get fogged up.
So on my other glasses, it's bad. And then especially coming in out of the car and then coming into this building every day, you get that, and you can't get rid of that fog.
Yeah.
I mean, the fog from your breath is a little different, but the fog from the
cold, the cold,
condensation,
right?
So you get a little bit, and then poof, it's gone. I was like, nice. I could actually wear. If I had to wear my mask in my car, I could.
I may have to stop and see them, even though I just got these glasses.
Now I have this question because they asked my mother this question: what's more important, anti-fog or smudge proof?
Oh, that's
now for a woman. That's a tough one.
And I clean my glasses constantly. I am so conscious of any little smudge on my glasses.
You might go with the anti-smudge.
Yeah, because you know why? The fog thing it's
It
temporary.
clears up. Yeah, it clears.
And it's honestly,
it clears up.
Hopefully, how long are we really going to have to worry about wearing masks?
Yeah,
hopefully not too much.
I said the same thing, but for me, it didn't really matter because for me, the condensation thing was the first thing that
happens
came
to me too. Yeah.
So I was like, smudge proof. I said, but for women, you wear makeup.
Yeah.
So my mother, without hesitation, smudge proof. Didn't even.
Yeah, I'm just really paranoid about not paranoid, but like right now, I can see a little cloudiness on my glasses.
She's going to clean them. Right on cue. Naz is cleaning her glasses.
There's a request for New York bagels to Texas. Rick, I know there's nothing like good old New York bagels.
Yeah, I don't.
We could ship them. There are ways to actually ship them.
Here's the thing, though.
You know what? There's a food service.
There is
that I can't
Gold
remember.
Belly.
Yes, Gold Belly.
Yep.
And they will ship like your favorite.
Ship? Do they ship your pants?
Yeah. Oh, I've had my pants shit.
Oh boy. Oh
Do
boy.
you remember that commercial?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
But the thing is,
hysterical.
Wilma, are you going to really? Would you wait on? You know, we have to wait online for everything now.
Yeah.
So are you going to wait online, say 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then take those bagels and ship them? It's got to be a great friend. If you do that, salute. It's got to be a good friend.
So there are ways. I've brought bagels. So I've traveled, and so my friends make fun of
Oh,
me.
it's
and I've
nice
talked
when
about
you
this.
if you bring them on with you.
Yeah.
Bring them with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've done that before,
That's
especially
true.
in the morning or the night before.
Yeah.
The day before, I've gotten fresh bagels. You wrap them up
Yeah, sure.
nicely, and
Yeah.
then they bring them in. I mean, the last time I brought them on the airplane, they wanted them.
Yeah.
So TSA's like, so where are those from? And where are you going? I said, well, I'm going to Texas because you can't get good
Yeah.
bagels.
Right, no.
It's
Anywhere.
the water.
It's the
It
water.
really is.
It's the
It
New
really
York
is.
water.
Well, Joe, welcome back.
Thank you. Another week.
How was your week?
It was a busy week this
It
week,
was
Joe.
a capital BUSY week. Very busy week in network
a
television
lot of
land.
stuff going on.
Too much. I'm going to say it because I'm amongst friends. Too much shit going on this week between everything. You know, as we know, the world has gone and gotten itself in a big mess that we're praying we get out of soon. But it was, my phone did not stop ringing. It was just as, you know, again, I say it every week when I'm on, just as busy working from home as it is being in the television building.
Yeah.
You know, my phone blowing up, emails constantly, Zoom meetings, you know, extend this, news is changing that. Now they want to do this. The special report's coming on. It's not coming on. We'll be on at 4. We'll be on at 3. What a week. I'm glad it's over. I had to open up a fresh bottle of bourbon last night.
Oh, all right.
Good thing I went to the liquor store.
Bourbon of choice.
Yeah.
Was there a specific bourbon? That
My
you had open?
bourbon of choice lately has been Jim Beam. I've gotten hooked on Jim Beam.
Oh, the
However,
classic.
Yes.
A classic.
And old, you know me, I'm an old school guy.
You're an old school
Old
guy.
school classic. However, sale on Evan Williams, so I went with the sale. I went with the sale price of
You could drink twice as much for
Yes.
the same price.
Evan
That's
Williams
right.
really isn't bad.
it's Jack Daniel's Light.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
It's Jack Daniel's
really not
Light.
bad.
Yeah. Bye, Piero.
Bye,
So
Michael.
yeah, so
Bye,
that's
Michael.
I opened up a fresh bottle because it was one hell of a week.
And
So
I bet the one on sale is the last time I saw it on sale was the big bottle.
it
wasn't
was the
even
big
small
bottle.
yeah.
It was the big jam.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to add that question because the bowling community wants to know
Yeah.
for Rhino. Ask Ryan his
Rhino?
His
is-
favorite?
his choice.
His drink of choice.
That was
Okay, I will. I will. He's laughing already. So
He's not laughing at what he's laughing at something else.
Okay, well,
He said.
I'm sure I'll get in on it soon.
Oh, that's hysterical.
All right.
But I want you to add that to the list because the
I-
bowling community wants
Okay.
to know.
Okay, I will. I'm going to put it right here. I got it.
He's got it. He doesn't forget anything.
I
this
got it.
guy.
No, I got it.
So, well,
Yep.
Joe, you got a lot happening. You
There's
get
a
to see
lot
us. So here's
going
the
on.
thing:
Yeah.
you get to see what we're up to every day. So
Yes.
it takes us almost 7 days to get. Even though we talk every day, you text
Yes.
us about the show.
Yes.
It's not the same.
Right.
So now you are getting the catch up. So we appreciate. you
Yeah,
taking
that's
it.
not. Listen, that's no problem. And just a shout out. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is.
Oh,
Oh, happy birthday, Heidi.
Happy
You know,
birthday.
I don't want to get hit with a frying pan when I get home, so I won't
Does she
say how
like
old she is.
Napoleons?
She does like
You can
Napoleon.
take one home
Oh,
and
you
put a
can
candle
take,
in it.
yes.
Okay, thank
yes.
you. I didn't even think of that, but thank you. So tomorrow is the missus's birthday, so I'm on duty to make breakfast. The only thing I know how to make, French toast. So that's her birthday gift.
All right.
And then
That's
we're
a
getting-
wonderful gift.
We're getting some nice takeout tomorrow from our friends at Juicy Lucy down on Father Capitano.
Oh, great choice.
They have the family cookout
Family, yes,
tomorrow.
yeah.
We're doing that, different kind of barbecued meats with the sides, and it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Cool.
There'll be more bourbon I'll be drinking, and yeah,
And there'll be
So-
bourbon in the barbecue sauce.
Yes, there
too,
will.
So
Yeah, I'll be feeling
So
no pain.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're friends, so we've been to concerts together.
Absolutely.
So I saw, and
Uh-huh.
I know you haven't experienced a concert
Right.
until you've been to a concert with Heidi.
Oh yeah.
And
I've heard
listen,
stories.
I
I've heard
like
stories.
to
Even
hang out
after
and
the concert.
so listen to this. Monmouth Racetrack, I believe,
Yeah.
is having 2 events. One is a comedy event. One is a concert
Okay.
in your car,
Really?
a drive-in concert.
Okay. I didn't hear about
You
that.
cannot tailgate.
Okay.
You cannot leave your car.
Okay.
How does that sit with you?
I don't know, because first of all, depending on the weather, it could be like sitting in a hot box for X amount of hours, right? I mean, it's going to be at night, I'm sure.
You're gonna run your car the whole time.
Right.
You're not gonna not run your car.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're not going to run your car the whole time.
You can access the music through your radio, so
Okay.
it's going to be broadcast on the radio.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
And it's not. I'm sure it costs them money to put this on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All the cars are distance away from each other.
But you can't let loose. You can't let loose.
It's not the same.
It's not the
So
same.
you can't get out of your car. You
No.
can't
You
dance.
can't get out of your
No,
car.
How are they going to control that? Somebody's
listen,
going to get out of their car, and then people are going to be dancing in front of their car.
That somebody would be my wife if she was there.
Yes, and I would
promise
be
you.
right next to her.
Yeah, I promise you.
But it just
So,
seems so weird. And I understand the premise of it, and I honestly understand what they're trying to do. But it just, the comedy thing I could almost understand.
yeah.
That's something I would, but I could understand.
Doesn't make a difference.
But a concert?
You can't. No.
And it's Southside Johnny.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
And he has Barry Jukes.
And he has Barry Jukes, right?
Nice.
And it just, I tried to picture being at this concert.
Yeah, I don't know.
And sitting in my car.
Yeah, no, it's
At least you don't have to worry about the person in front of you.
that's true.
Nobody's standing up in front
of you,
Right.
like
Yeah.
being an idiot.
Yeah, if someone has
Well,
a
we
melon
try
head,
to-
in
That's a
front of
real
you.
issue.
We
Yeah,
try
that's
to
true.
strategically place our seats when we go to concerts.
Yeah.
Because we like to be in a front row if we can, even if it's an upper section.
Yeah.
Or if it's a section that's, I don't mind standing up.
Yeah.
If I go to a concert, I intend.
Yeah.
I'm going to be standing up for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's my wife. She don't sit
and if
down.
my
Yeah.
section is sitting down, I'm okay with sitting down,
Yeah.
depending on who it is.
Right.
But
And it depends on the song too. I think there are times
Yeah.
it's very awkward to like if you're singing a ballad, like it's awkward to stand sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it seems so weird
Yeah,
to me.
that's odd. We're gonna file that on the odd. I guess.
I hope somebody I know goes to it
Yeah.
because I would like to see a picture of
Yeah,
it.
that's gonna be.
Just-
I'm
different.
sure it'll be all over the
Understand.
news.
That's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
you're here.
Yes.
It means it's Saturday.
Yes.
Which is Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowl Saturday.
It is.
Yeah.
In the past, it's been Pro Bowler Hall of Famer Saturday.
Yes.
Today, it's Pro Bowler Future
Soon to be. Yes.
Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I'm sure that's in
He
the
seems so
career.
young.
Yeah. Well,
He is young.
he started young.
His
Right?
hairline, I shouldn't talk because I'm starting to lose my hair, but his hairline is going to talk.
Oh,
show
well, let's
a
not
lot.
talk hairlines, please. That's why I have my hat on. I need a haircut anyway.
So our special guest today, the one and only Rhino Page. Hey, Rhino.
Hi guys, how are you?
Rhino,
What's
how
up,
are
Rhino?
you?
I'm gonna have to adjust my camera so you can't see my hairline now.
Yeah. Just put on a hat. That's all right. You're all right.
He's
Thinking Calix.
he's usually caught with a hat. So you're not on the golf course today,
Yeah.
which is unusual. So one, thank you for taking the time away from your golf game to sit and join us. But I'm assuming you're going golf after.
Right. Either you played already or you're gonna play later.
Oh no, I'm taking the weekend off this week.
Really? Okay.
A little bit unseasonably cool weather out here right now.
Okay.
Cool, like what?
High of like 61 today. So
Oh wow.
normally we're in the 80s by now.
I would play golf.
I'd play golf in that. I put on a pullover and boom, you go.
So where are you these days?
Yes. Where is there?
I'm in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
So
Northwest.
Nice.
warm weather to cooler weather, but if it's warm there, I
Yeah.
mean, 61 is beautiful.
It's
I
like
mean,
a clam bake out here
Here in
today.
New York, we'd
Yeah.
be like, yes, please,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's a sauna out there today. That's brutal.
I'm not complaining about it being a sauna because we spent a lot of time complaining about
That's
it
true.
being too cold.
No, yeah,
so.
that's true, Ness. You're right. You're right.
So,
So what have you been? I mean, I know you've shared some photos, and he's golfing a lot. But other than golfing, how are you holding up? How are things there in Rhino's world?
Holding up as good as possible. I'm pretty thankful the gyms are finally back open. So I've been trying to get back in shape after sitting around for 5 straight weeks. At my age, the weight catches up a lot quicker than it did 10 years ago. That's for sure.
I like how he says my age.
Yeah,
Like,
wait
really,
till you
dude?
get older.
Really?
Bless your heart for saying that I was young too. Thank you.
Well, Rhino,
Hall of Fame.
comparative to these two, yes, we are.
all
Gee,
right,
thanks,
all
Frank.
right.
But working on a couple projects right now. Obviously, I'm with Big Bowling, and with the markets closed, we're stacking up some inventory and catching up, and also working, and this is breaking news to the world. Nobody knows this, so I'm going to say this for the first time.
Hey, wait a second.
Wait.
Wait.
You know, that's important because people don't.
Okay.
Rhino,
That's a cue. That's a cue.
you have to know something. if you, and I know you've tuned in a couple times, but breaking news happens here often.
All the time.
And people just don't understand. Like, you are here live from Rabs. They say, you know, today we're 3 hacks with a talk show on Facebook with over 110,000 views.
Yes.
We've had breaking news. I mean,
Constantly.
it's important for us. We
Yes.
love to hear breaking news. So, again, sorry to interrupt you. Breaking
Fire
news.
away.
Ladies
No
and
problem. I'm working with a good friend of mine here in town to start a podcast, and it'll be a long-term thing.
Nice.
All things bowling, not just as a player, but we're going to take a lot of things that I've learned over the last 5 years through working with the USBC and the BPAA, and bring on some awesome guests and just talk bowling and have a blast doing it.
Nice.
So we have a meeting all afternoon today. That's why I'm not playing golf. That and playing 3 days in a row hurts.
Yeah, that it does. It does.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, have you named this podcast yet? I mean, you know, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
We do have a name.
All right, you don't have to share it. You don't have to share it.
I actually figured that this would be asked, so that's all right. My good friend's name is Will Smith, and so I call him Fresh Prince, naturally.
Fresh
It is
Prince.
not the Will Smith that we know on TV. And so we came up with the Washed Up and Fresh Show.
Oh, very clever, Rhino. Very
So
clever.
we're gonna have a great time with it.
Very
If
good.
you ever sat with Rhino, you'd understand even more why it's more washed up. So, wait, what's your friend Will Smith's wife's name?
It's not Jada.
It's not
is it?
Jada, right?
He's not married at this point. He's just engaged.
Oh, all right. We have
Yeah.
a friend who runs the local minor league team, and his name is Will Smith, but his wife
His name
her name is Jada.
Jada. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Will Smith was on the show. There's a
There's a lot of
Smith's
Will
all
Smith
around here.
connections here. Maybe we got to reach out to the Fresh Prince and see if he wants to come on. I'm just saying. I think we have to.
That's awesome. Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
good luck with that.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. That's great. That's great.
How are you enjoying your time in Spokane?
Honestly, I love it here. From a bowling side, this is one of the greatest communities that I've experienced. They love bowling so much so that it's every weekend there's a tournament going on, and a lot of them are handicapped, but it's still more of the social aspect. In fact, there's 3 scratch leagues in town, which I thought was mind-boggling.
Wow.
Yeah, that is.
Coming from Orlando, which is a wonderful bowling area, they didn't have 1 scratch league.
Right.
So to come here and to have 3, and they actually want me to bowl, which is another crazy thing. A lot of the places I've gone, they're like, no, you can't bowl. No, forget that.
Wow.
So I've really enjoyed it from the bowling side. Winter was a little bit rough coming from Florida, but thankfully they gave me a mild winter to start. So I got through that okay. And we're here in summer, thank God. I could play golf. That was the toughest part for me is 4 months without golf. Like, oh, I'm dying over here.
Yeah, we go through that all the time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate snowbirds now.
Yeah.
I'm
You
kind of
understand?
bitter about them, but now I'm like, I could live that life.
Yeah.
So maybe they think you're washed up, which is why they invited you to bowl with them.
There you go.
Oh, it's only Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
And then when the intensity comes out, as southpaw that he is, there's a
Yeah.
whole nother
Oh, yeah.
ball game. I'm surprised they even allow lefties. I mean, that's
Yes.
There's actually one league in town that is one of the scratch leagues, and there's so many left-handers in the league. I thought, where'd you guys come from? Like, I must be 15 or 20 left-handers.
Wow.
So
A lot.
They all banded together.
Yeah.
in the same league.
Yeah.
I think Monday nights in our scratch league, we have a decent amount of left-handers.
We got a good amount.
Yeah, I never counted, but I think I will do that.
And
We got a good amount. And when Rocky comes back, then we got the ultimate left-hander. But yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah.
we, I don't know if you know. I told you this. We had our mutual good friend Mike Pellegrino Sr. on last week, and he is
great guy.
he is great. He's awesome.
character.
And I would say, as he had nothing but nice things to say about you, certainly proud and excited
Yep.
to have help work with you
Yeah, right.
and be a part of your success. And you always talk about him. So, and I mean, you guys razz on each other, which is even more fun. So if he's watching here today, just be careful if you really care what you want to say. Wendy Mack actually threw something at him last week
Yes, she did.
when he was on. But
Wow. What's up, Ray? What's up, Ray?
I actually have a funny side story. I was with Wendy one day, and Mikey was on the telecast. He also sponsored Ronnie Russell at the time. And Wendy's like, hey, let's pick on Mikey. Let's send him a text message. And I'm like, what are you going to send him? He goes, tell him your toupee's sideways.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, wow, Wendy, that is rough. Like, really? And she goes, oh, yeah, let's do it. And so, sure enough, we go ahead and do that. And for the next 5 frames, you're watching him kind of in the background, like, oh, wow. He was really uncomfortable. He didn't catch on. We were just busting his chops.
You got him hook, line, and sinker. Wow.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
only you are going to get away with saying that.
Yeah.
That is good.
I love you, Mikey, if you're watching.
They pop in every
Yeah,
so
he
often,
pops
so.
in, right? So I'll start the barrage of questions.
Yeah.
You want me to?
Jump right in. Yeah.
In honor
Keep
of
going.
Rhino, I put my Callaway golf cap on today, one of my Callaway caps. I'm going to get out the high tee. I'm going to take my driver out, Rhino, and I'm going to tee it up, and we're going to hit and go. Ready?
All right.
Ready. All right. So, University of Kansas grad, right? Rock Chalk Jayhawk, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Famous grads other than Rhino Page of that school, in case inquiring minds want to
Here we
know.
go.
Here we go.
Wilt the Still Chamberlain, Gail Sayers, and my favorite running back of all time, the one and only John Riggins.
Oh, look at this.
Kansas
Sure.
grad. Frankie, I'm full of info. I'm full of a lot of stuff, but I'm full of info. You know that. So, Rhino, what was your greatest collegiate bowling moment when you bowled college? Give us your biggest moment bowling college.
Honestly, the biggest moment was 2004 when we won the national championship.
Okay.
It was one of the most special times ever. We were going up against a team of Bill O'Neill,
Oh, wow.
Anthony Lacaz, Steve Novak, all guys that are very, very high up players. And, we were a team of we weren't supposed to be in that caliber, but we played so much as a team all week long. And we pulled together. We were truly the underdog story. And to this day, I as much as I treasure it, I try not to watch it too much because Bill O'Neill needed a double to win, and he threw one of the greatest shots ever. And I was convinced that he was going to double. He's one of the best college players of all time, and he wrapped a 10-pin.
Oh, wow.
And so it was lucky in a way, but it was truly a special time because. Again, at all moments throughout the entire tournament, we were always communicating. We always had each other's backs no matter what. And, at that point, it didn't matter. The lanes were really difficult. So if we bowled 160 and won, it didn't matter if it was 160, it was a win.
Right.
And all that hard work on spare shooting as well paid off. Our coach really harped on us about that. And it's something that I'm truly thankful for to this day because it's become one of the most overlooked sides of the sport.
Sure.
And it certainly helped in my success.
Indeed. In 2014, unfortunately, you suffered some serious bowling injuries. And when you came back the next year, I'm sure it took a lot of hard work for you to get back to that level that you're kind of used to being at. So what was the most difficult thing between the time you got injured through you getting healed up and then when you came back? What was the toughest mountain for you to climb?
There was a couple mountains. The first being, when my doctor had that sit down with me and said, hey, look, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being brain surgery for your career, this operation is a 6 or a 7. I can't guarantee that you're going to bowl again. I don't know what I'm going to see when I go inside. And so that was scary as could be. Bowling is all I've ever loved and all I've ever really worked for. And so I'm thinking, well, what happens if it's gone?
Right.
And so thankfully, the operation went very well to the point where he was surprised that it wasn't as bad as what it could have been. From that point, it was starting back with 8 pounds, right? I mean, I bowled with 15 pounds for 20 plus years at that time.
Sure.
Now I got to go back to 8 pounds. And I 5-7-10 the first night, which made me laugh. And the beauty of it was I learned to love bowling again. It was like kind of going back to my childhood moments of like, wow, this is so addicting. And even if it was with 8 pounds. And so every 2 months I would go up 2 pounds in weight. It was a very slow process. And I had to do a lot of physical therapy with it, which anybody that's been through physical therapy knows it's not a cakewalk by any means.
Amen.
And so there was lots of moments where there was doubt creeping in, but in the same time, I had a 5-month period where I could take a step away from just being a hardcore bowler and enjoy bowling again. A lot of times it does become a job at this level. And so to get that passion back and to work my way back to the tour, it was a really fun process, actually, in hindsight.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah.
So Rhino, what talk about the injury a little bit.
Okay. So I guess the easiest way to put it is I had that 90s fit, right? The super stretch. For a long time. I got refit in college because when I got to Kansas, they went, how do you even get your hand in this ball? They told me a squeezer and the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to strike, no pain, no gain. Right.
Right.
And so I got refit and things started going down the right path. The problem was I didn't realize that my hand changes every 3 to 5 years. So I never got refit again. And going through, 5, 6, 7 years of tour where you're bowling that many games and you don't have a proper fit, it can stress your tendons and everything else quite a bit. And unfortunately, the tendon in my wrist snapped during the middle of the World Series. And I continued to bowl the next couple months with it, but I couldn't keep up at the level that these guys were playing on, and I knew that there was an issue. So for those of you out there that have never gotten your fit checked, I promise you it's the greatest thing you could ever do, and you should do it every 3 to 5 years because as you get older, you lose more and more flexibility, and you shouldn't be in pain when you're bowling. That was the biggest lesson I learned through it all was, I'm not supposed to bleed or like grip my teeth.
That's a great tip.
You're really
That's weird.
Well, no, and it's a good tip. And the other thing, a lot of times you wind up taking the same, you take your bowling ball in, all right, refit this bowl, and then you just keep perpetuating the next new bowl.
Yeah.
So in conversation, I said to Jimmy, I said, hey, what happened here?
Yeah.
He says, well, we just keep, it is a long time ago. And he says, we just keep, and I said, you're right. So we just keep the one bowl. And I'm like, I go back to use this as the template. If you're going to use a template,
he's got your specs
by not remeasuring, but it's, we just keep doing that. And so every time you're going to be off something a little bit.
Yeah.
And especially that now, after not bowling for
months,
80 days,
months.
I mean,
I know.
I know. It's even worse.
I know. Well, Rhino, let's go back in time a bit. If you could pick one left-handed bowler and one right-handed bowler from before your time that you want to bowl against head-to-head, that you never had that opportunity, who would those two be? One righty and one lefty PBA legends that you never had the chance to bowl against.
The lefty's pretty easy. That would be Earl Anthony.
There you go.
Even though growing up, I was a huge Mike Albee fan. Albee was always one of my favorites, but I technically got to bowl against him. It was a pro-am, but still.
Okay.
Sorry, but Earl Anthony. Okay, I gotta pick Earl. Right.
There you
one
go.
of the greatest of all time. Right-handers. Wow, that's a tough one. Steve Hoskins, I think I'd have to go with. So I was a huge Steve Hoskins fan.
Good one. Yeah, he used to grip it and talk about gripping it and ripping it. He used to crank it. He was, and very low to the ground too. But he could strike that. He could strike with anybody. Yeah, he's very good.
And his intensity. Oh boy, I loved it.
Very intense. You're right. Very intense. Yeah, that's you know what? That's a surprising answer. But I like it. That's a great answer. It's a great answer. So now we're going to concentrate on golf a little bit.
You might have also met your match of somebody with useless information.
Well, then he's in good company. I am the king of useless information for all of those. Rhino probably doesn't know, but now he knows I'm the king.
But for him, that wasn't useless, but for him to come up with an answer like that,
it
also shows. John points out he'd be a good color analyst.
Absolutely,
he's very analytical too. So to have that, have you thought about that? Just if you at some point being behind the scenes on a telecast?
Well, I got to experience that one time a couple years ago in Detroit, and it is so much more difficult than anybody could ever imagine because you got the producer in your ear and you're in the middle of a thought and you hear 5 seconds, and I have ADD, so it's hard enough for me to stay on task.
That's true.
When I'm hearing that, I'm like, okay, back to you. So it would definitely be something I'd have to practice, but I guess I'd be interested in that down the line.
Yeah, you can do it. The more you get those people talking into your headset, you it's as you do it, you just get used to it. So It's true.
Right.
You would be great. You know what? The Irish Pogie strikes again. He's right.
74 episodes in.
Yeah.
We're still not used to it. We're still yelling.
Yeah, still yelling at the
Shut up already.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. So, Rhino, what? Talking about golf, what is your golf handicap? What's your handicap?
Right now, I'm a 6.2.
Wow, that's impressive. I got to tell you, I'm at like 25, so that's pretty good, man. That's really good.
I've been working pretty hard on it this year. This is the first time that I've actually taken it a little more serious, where I'll go to the range and actually spend time rather than just wanting to play constantly. But
Yeah.
I do have breaking news. I'll wait for the little.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When I turn 50, like my ultimate goal would be to go on the PGA Champions Tour.
Excellent.
So I've got 13 years to work on it, and I'm like, well, if I'm really serious, then I should actually really work on the mechanics and come down with a really solid game that, every couple of months I don't get the shanks and not know what to do or stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Golf is an incredibly difficult game.
Yeah.
Certainly is. Yep.
Yeah. I enjoy it. There's nothing better than going out for 4 hours away from the world, not looking at your phone and just enjoying,
Best
Mother
feeling.
Nature. And around here, man, is it beautiful with all the mountains and everything. So it's very enjoyable.
I'll bet. Yeah. There's nothing like going out there early in the morning. Right, Ray? You're going
Who
now.
wants to go right now?
Our golf courses, just open the golf courses out here. Please open them up soon. Open them up soon. Rhino, we have to go over bridges and through tunnels to other states right now to go play. So it's a bit of a chore, but we're going. The Jersey courses are like, all those Staten Island guys are here again. So,
Right.
It
was actually the same way here. Being in Spokane, I'm only 30 miles away from Idaho.
Okay.
And so we've been one of the slower states in opening up as well. And so we were going over to Idaho to play, like, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Idaho said, no, I don't think so. And so they shut us all down for a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very thankful that we're all back open.
Nice. Enjoy it. So outside of yourself, who's the best golfer out on the tour, the PBA tour? Who's the best golfer outside of you?
Oh, I'm not even close. Well, I guess Ronnie Russell and EJ Tackett are certainly at the top of that list.
Really?
Last year, Ronnie Russell's a +3, and EJ's a +2. And in fact, I remember going out to watch Ronnie Russell play Q School for the Canadian Golf Tour.
Wow.
And I went, wow, this is crazy. Like, these guys are at a whole other level. So I definitely have my work cut out for me by all means. But there's some good golfers on tour.
You'll get there. A question from our friend Kevin, who's one of the guys out here with a 300 series, a 300 game, 800 series, and a hole-in-one. So Kevin Rourke wants to know if you're part of that club.
I actually am.
Nice.
And I'll give you it's a funny story, actually. So I was playing golf with Norm Duke and Ralph Solon, our Southern rep for Storm, when I was with them. And I'm having an awful day, like awful day. And we get to this par 3. It's like 210 yards into a little wind. And I'm like, oh, just get it over the swamp, please. I don't want to lose another ball.
Yeah.
And so I pull out this brand new ball. It was my last one. I'll never forget. It was a yellow ball. And I hit the shot of my life. And I went, oh, that's really good. Maybe you need to get down. And it took 1 hop, 2 hops, and then rolled and then disappeared. And it was so far away, being 210 yards, everybody was like, did that go in? But nobody wanted to, cheer because they didn't want to, let me down or something. And so we get up there, and I'm like, well, the ball's not anywhere around. It's got to be in the hole, right? And it was just silence.
Nice. Oh, you know what? Kevin Rourke, there you go. Rhino Page is in the elusive club. So one of these days I'll get there. I don't know if I'll ever get a hole-in-one, but Lord knows I'm trying. So, Rhino, the last question I got for you now is, what's your drink of choice? Because Frankie said I had to ask you.
My drink of choice.
Your drink of choice.
Well, Frankie's kind of to blame for this now, okay? And this was my fantasy football team name last year, which was Tito's and Anything.
Nice.
But I prefer a Diet Sprite or something like that. I've always been a beer guy, but, again, at 36, I don't have quite the metabolism. If you drink a lot of beer, you get a little bit of a pouch. And still being a professional bowler, I'm trying to eliminate that as much as possible. So I'll go with a low-cal drink.
That's cool. Try it with pineapple juice. It's good.
No, acid reflux. No way. I just drink it on the rocks. On the rocks with olives, call it a day, or limes. At the end of the night, the salt goes away and it becomes the limes.
Yeah.
And whiskey of choice. I mean, there might be a specific answer to this one, but that whiskey of choice.
The whiskey of choice. Okay. What's Rhino's whiskey of choice?
Does Scotch count on that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll go with a Yamazaki from Japan.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow, that's
It's
different.
one of the best scotches I've ever had in my life.
I'm gonna have to try that. Thank you. That's another
Very
bottle.
difficult to find.
I mean,
Keep
I don't
your
know. Yeah, I've never had it. He's talked about it. So in your travels, right, you get exposed to so many different
I was
things,
gonna
right?
ask that.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit. When were you exposed to that?
I've been lucky enough to go to Japan maybe 9 times now and travel all across the country. And it was a buddy of mine that brought it up. He goes, "Have you ever had this Yamazaki? Let's have some." And I went, "Whoa, this is outstanding." And so fast forward to a couple of years ago when we were in Osaka for the Japan Cup. And I'm with Jeff Goodyear, who's our producer of Flow Bowling. And we're sitting up on the top level of this hotel. And we're just talking like how to make, at the time it was extra frame. How do we make it better? Boom, boom, boom. And I'm on the players committee. So I wanted to try to maybe echo some of the things that he needed to the staff. And sure enough, there's this bottle of Yamazaki right in front of us. And we sat there for 4 hours just sipping, coming up with all these ideas. And so I told him, I'm like, I'll get this podcast going. I won't have you on as a special guest. We're just going to bring a bottle of Yamazaki. He goes, "I'll book my flight tomorrow if you have that."
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to look into that bottle.
So some of the other pros that we've had on talked about like great experiences that they've had bowling overseas, particularly Japan. Did you find like the same thing, that it was something that you really enjoyed, that country, your time with them?
Yeah, in fact, so much so that if it wasn't for my family being here in the States, like I would consider moving there and doing coaching and bowling, because the culture is amazing.
Wow.
Those folks are so into bowling, and when you walk in, it's very much like other athletes, I'm sure, feel you're a superstar. They all start looking at you and kind of snickering at each other and pointing. Sign, please. It's a really cool experience, and for me, I would definitely move there anytime.
Wow. Interesting answer.
Yeah, and as just said it. That's something that everybody says. So the culture, I think it's
And the people.
the people.
Yeah.
Wendy Mack talked a little bit about the people, and so welcoming, and
Yeah.
the proprietors and that community, and just treating you like one of their own is awesome. What has been your favorite place to visit other than Japan?
I'm going to have to go with Norway. I got invited to bowl a tournament with Kelly Kulik there, and it was in a 5-lane bowling center in the basement of this little shopping plaza. But talk about one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I mean, especially in the summertime. I don't know if I'd ever want to go there in the winter. That's for sure. But it was just gorgeous. And again, the people were wonderful. And really, that's been my favorite part of the traveling in general is the folks around the world are just amazing people. And when you come to visit them, they're always so welcoming and they appreciate it. I guess the other thing that I would add to that is, and this is probably tied for my favorite place, was when I got to go to Korea and Japan for our military. We went to two military bases on each country. And we got to just work with our troops. And to me, that was the greatest experience in my life, especially when we had a commander after one of our clinics come up and say, "Hey, come here for a minute." And he had a FaceTime going with his family, and he wanted me to say hi to his family. And that's when I truly got that feeling of what it's like, for our troops overseas. And it's an experience I'll never forget, and I'm very grateful for.
That's really cool. Norway. The closest I ever got was going to Epcot to go to Norway. That's about it.
Yeah.
And the trolls, right? The big old
And the
big
troll that's
trolls.
there, and the Frozen ride is there
So
now.
a friend of ours wants to know, what part of Norway did you
Yes.
visit?
I flew into Kristiansand, and then we went up. I think it's called Evia.
Okay.
It's a smaller town. It's right on a river, In fact, the folks that own the bowling center owned a little private island in the middle of this river.
Oh.
And so they picked us up at our hotel in a boat and just drove us out.
Wow.
Wow.
That's cool.
Super
Nice.
cool.
Fancy.
Really nice.
That's
Excuse me.
bougie.
That's bougie.
Yeah.
That's very bougie.
Hashtag bougie.
Yeah.
Hey, you've had some great success on the tour, and even as of late. I mean, obviously, a little shut down at the moment.
Mhm.
So two questions here. One, talk your most memorable title on the PBA tour.
Obviously, the first one's really special, and that's the one you always dream of. But for me, it was the U.S. Open, far and above.
Great.
It's the tournament I've always wanted to win. I've always seemed to give myself a chance, but the one year I remember I finished 5th. It was the only year they didn't take the top 5. And so that really put a fire underneath me of like, hey, you just got to get better. And so to really break through and to win that event, that was really special to me. That's what I wanted to do.
That's really cool. Yeah, and I just want to give another shout out to our friend Kevin Rourke, who graciously points out that I live near Norway Avenue. So that's a good point. It's right around the corner from me, Kev. So I guess I'm not looking at the street signs, and being I've been living there forever, I take it for granted.
So to divert momentarily from bowling again, what's the nicest golf course you've ever played?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one.
That's tough.
Yeah, well, last year on the Vice golf trip, I was fortunate enough to go on that. We got to play Pebble Beach. And
wow.
we also got to play Spyglass and a couple other ones. But Pebble Beach was beautiful. And it was 3 weeks before the U.S. Open.
Oh,
So
man.
it was the hardest conditions ever. You got all the stands being built along the sides.
Wow.
I actually felt like a pro golfer, kind of. I feel like triple bogeyed 9, of course, but that's
Hey. Of course, though. That's tough. Wow.
But yeah, I'd have to say Pebble.
Pebble. Wow, that's really cool.
Now, how many people could say that they played at Pebble Beach?
And not many, but it's getting Rhino ready for when he goes on the Champions Tour in 13
Exactly.
years. So that's good. That's very good.
He might have.
I'll also add, I want another crack at Whistling Straits because that course, after watching the guys on TV, I thought, it can't be that hard. I mean, these guys are killing it, right?
Yeah.
It's brutal. It made me appreciate how good those guys are. My goodness.
Yeah, they have one hole there, like 600 and something yards. It's insane. Yeah,
And
that's
if you miss a fairway, the grass is this high, like good luck.
indeed. Yep.
Hey, so tonight, PBA's back
It's
live
back.
on TV.
Yeah.
Now we would like to be watching Rhino compete in this
course we would.
Strike Fest, whatever you want to call the Strike Derby. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? It should be exciting. I think I'm excited to have people watch, but
Yeah.
from a player's perspective, what's on your mind?
I think it's great. I mean, obviously, in my opinion, we have a great moment right now where we could show bowling. We can go bowling. We can do stuff, whereas other sports, they're struggling to figure out, the dynamic and what they're going to do to survive because having fans in the stands is how they function. So I think it's fantastic, and I hope we continue to be able to do it. Thankfully, Florida's open, one of the few states that allows professional sports right now. And
Right.
of course, I'm sure Tom Brady and Gronkowski helped that. Right?
I'm sure they did.
Had something to
I'm sure that's a big plus for them. Yeah. Definitely.
No, I think it's great, and I'm looking forward. I know the PBA League's been rescheduled to September, and that's something I'm greatly looking forward to. Although I hope our bowling centers around here open soon so I can practice. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little marshmallow like, I'm sure.
Yeah.
On the tour, your favorite event?
Coldwater, Ohio. It's a small little town, about 3,500 people, about 45 minutes northwest of Dayton, Ohio. And man, it is the most fun event I've ever been a part of. And, I remember the first year Brian Kretzer started the event, and it used to be just a regional. And he picks me up from the airport, and he goes, "Now, Rhino, I don't care how bowling goes this week. Understand this is not a bowling tournament. This is an event." And I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Now, tonight we're going to have the softball tournament." And I'm like, "Softball? Okay." So it was the national players versus the regional players, and the batting lineups went off of titles.
Oh,
And
boy.
what they didn't tell me was it's in the middle of a softball tournament. and there's people from all over the place, like all the way up from Canada. And so there's 500 people and the local media, is filming this.
Watching these hacks on the softball field.
And, I played baseball all my life growing up, so I got that little cocky confidence, like, yeah, this is back in my roots, right? Well, it'd been 13, 14 years at least.
Yeah.
And needless to say, I was the opposite of the MVP for the game. I struck out twice and fouled out because I couldn't wait for the ball.
Wow.
But they used to have the softball tournament. They had a golf outing. They had a putt-putt championship. They really knew how to make it a great event for the entire community.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And that's one that I look forward to going back to every year.
Is that all before bowling takes place?
The golf is afterwards. They don't do the softball anymore because they're worried that guys are going to get injured.
It hurt.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking.
And so I'm like, hey, our tour just got younger. What are you talking about? Like,
It's true. And that's something that's been kind of the theme here, talking with the other players. The excitement level for this new generation.
Yes.
And it seems that this next generation is a larger group than it's been in the past, which is pretty cool.
Definitely.
I think, but today we do have, and Norm talked a little bit about it too, the disparity between, you've got guys like Norm and Walter who still can compete and still out there and compete.
Right.
And then you've got these guys in this group in the middle. So where do you put yourself in that group, Rhino? I mean, you're kind of smack in the middle, but I mean, you're still young.
Well, I feel old next to these guys for sure. Obviously, I've kind of got broken parts a little bit with my wrist, but one thing that I will know is they're all very fitness oriented. And, when I played baseball, that's what it was all about. And it was part of the reason why I was like, I don't like this. I just want to play.
Right.
And it's actually a regret of mine, that I didn't take it more serious and stay in the gym like these guys, because the game has turned into a completely different game, just like all the other sports, where power has become, top of mind. And the amount of power that these guys can create, even a guy that is EJ Tackett size is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to keep up with, like when they have double my RPMs, their pocket gets a little bit bigger because their pins fly all over the place.
Sure. Yep.
And so in that sense, I do feel like kind of one of the old guys, almost like I joke around with my friends. I'm like, I'm an obsolete product. Like, making my spares, and it's like, that's not getting me anywhere.
Yeah. Wow.
But in the same token, it's been really fun to watch, and I think it's started to change the image of our sport as well, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who do you have your money on tonight?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. They can all strike a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a group. I'm going with Billy O. I'm going with Billy O'Neill.
Good old Billy.
Because he was our first guest on the show too, so of course. But I'm going with Billy. Yeah.
I don't want to cloud anybody. I'll get a text message going, "Hey, I heard you earlier. Thanks a lot."
No whammy.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, Tommy.
Yeah.
And Kevin says his money's on Tommy tonight. And think about where Tommy before the sees the tour.
Yeah.
He had this success.
He shot the 300.
Yeah. Tommy can.
Yeah,
Tommy can strike.
Yes, he can.
He throws pins everywhere.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if straight is a little bit better. I mean, Danielle McEwen might be the dark horse here.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of Danielle, she'll be on our show on Wednesday. So
right? Yeah.
We'll get to either she'll be a champion,
Right. She can brag about it.
or she's going to have some other perspective of this specific.
She might have a
event.
different point of view. Yeah.
And they're all traveling, and so she had specifically shared some photos of her travel experience, wearing masks and goggles, and it's these empty airports. It's gonna be interesting as people are starting to get back to life and watch that. And Rhino, you travel a lot, so you know what that's like. But not being on a plane in a while, I'm sure has been very different for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through withdrawals in a way. One thing people don't know about me, but I'm really into aviation, and I want to be a pilot. That's like one of the kind of side projects I work on, and I have a flight simulator in my house. So like anytime I get on an airplane, I'm excited.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it'll be nice to see things get a little bit more back to normal, especially here in Spokane, where we don't have a lot of flights as it is.
Right.
And so when they started cutting back flights, it's hard for me to get anywhere right now.
So have you put some miles in while you're, sitting home? I mean, you've been golfing. You put miles on the golf course, but did you put your flight simulation miles in?
Oh, yeah. I have well over 100 hours since we've been home.
Oh, wow.
Getting better and better. I fly a 737-900 series for any of you out there that knows what that is.
Very nice.
But, yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. And I'm working on flying the 747 because that thing is just awesome. Like, let's face it.
That's cool.
You can go to Japan on that one for sure.
Yeah, those are the 740. The other ones, the bigger ones. I mean,
760. No,
what are the ones they fly to double decker? They're 47s. They're outfitted, but they're what are
they're
those?
huge.
It's the Airbus 380.
Airbus 380, right? That thing's like a city with wings. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
So Rhino, tell us how you got the name Rhino.
So I was 4 years old playing T-ball, and I was so intense when I was up to bat that my coach said I looked like a rhino ready to charge. And I'm going to be honest, I remember this too. I hated it. I couldn't. I'm like, that's not my name. My name is Ryan. And so I started bowling at the same time. My parents bowled a league on Friday nights, and one of my favorite things to do before I went into the nursery was to look at the pro shop. Like, because they had all the bowling balls in the window, and I saw this Rhino bowling ball.
Rhino.
That's my name.
It is now. I didn't like that.
Right now, I love
And
it.
it just stuck ever since. So yeah.
You have your name on a bowling ball of all different colors too. It's great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And yes, that was my first reactive ball. So
Yeah, there you go.
Which
Nice.
one?
That was the first reactive ball. Yeah, the Rhino.
I was gonna say they were that teal.
They had the
the
teal blue, the
golds.
gold. Yeah, the orange. Yeah,
They were
Oh, yeah.
special.
Yeah, they
and,
were.
and those were balls that everybody threw.
everybody had one. No
Everybody
matter
threw.
what, everybody had one.
I had both of them. I absolutely loved them.
Everybody had one.
Hey, inquiring minds want to know. There's that photo up above your head. What is that a picture of?
Looks like Pebble Beach.
yeah, that's Pebble Beach. That's a poster that they had for the U.S. Open that I got while I was there.
Very
It
cool.
was kind of here. I'll change my view for you.
Oh,
That's really cool.
what hole is that?
Number 6, I believe.
Yeah, nice,
That's cool.
nice.
And I got a birdie on that hole, so that makes
Very well done.
Too bad it wasn't a hole in one.
A birdie on that course is that's like a hole in one. A birdie on that course. Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Hey, you touched on it, and I want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on the PBA League, because you're a guy that likes to have a good time. And I mean, you talk about that other event where you had a good time, but it's a whole different environment.
I mean, I've always been a big proponent of team bowling, and I think the PBA League is the most amazing time, because normally we're just worried about beating each other up, right? Now we have a time to come together as a group, and all these superstars on every team. Like, it's super exciting, and obviously the environment that's been created in Portland is second to none. I'll never forget the first year we were there. Thank God my team was in the second match, because the first match, I think it took 6 frames for somebody to get a spare, because it was so loud and they were so in your face and like, clean your plate. And you're not trying to think about striking or sparing, right? You're trying to like eliminate that, and then they're yelling it right in your face. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad I got to watch this before I just jumped in.
You don't want
Kind
to
of
really know.
desensitize myself.
But I really believe that the PBA League could be a big part of the PBA in the future, because what better way to get new fans? For example, I'm a huge LA Kings fan in hockey, and I don't miss very many games, but I never played hockey a day in my life. But they sold me on their team because they were part of my local area growing up, and I think that we could do a lot more of that, I should say, down the line, and create even more of a fan base than what we have. So I think it's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the average bowler relates to it. It's team bowling, and so the other thing that we've talked about with our guests, it's a different environment. So you guys are always bowling for yourselves,
Right.
And so now you're back to bowling as a team, and so that's a different experience for everyone,
Absolutely.
right? And not everybody is fit to bowl. As a
Right.
team.
Yeah, no, that's yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And, I'll go a step further. Everything throughout bowling, whether it's from high school to college to leagues, and adults, it's all team bowling. And so I feel like even our fan base that is bowlers can relate to us a lot better when we're in that league environment versus being on the singles side of things.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Rhino's also an old soul, so he'll tell you from that perspective, which is cool. I mean, that's the beauty of a young guy out on tour, but has this picture of has a relation to all of the generations.
The
and
before, absolutely.
Which is cool.
Yeah, team was big. They used to have those teams, the Budweisers.
Oh, yeah.
And, when Dick Weber bowled with Ray Bluth and those guys.
And that concept, the idea kind of grew out of that, right? So they were city-based, sponsor-based, huge sponsor-based teams.
Yeah.
And if you go to the Bowling Museum Hall of Fame down in Arlington, there's an exhibit on those teams. And
really?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never been.
I
have to get that.
That was, again, its own culture.
Yeah.
So, and I think the PBA worked so hard to start that. And I think the addition, 2 new teams this year.
2 new teams this year, yeah.
Yeah, so trying to build on that and try to cultivate that culture, I think is awesome.
That's great.
And then that environment, I mean, it's a party.
Yeah, those people are off the hook.
Yeah.
Definitely so.
Yeah, they are off the hook there.
Oh.
They're into it.
Hey, Rhino, thanks for dropping in with us
There was
today.
one more question.
Oh,
One of our viewers would like to know, how often would you recommend a youth bowler gets refitted over the course of a year?
That would probably vary based on how much they're growing, because obviously the growth spurts are different for each age. But if you notice a big growth spurt in your daughter or your son, I would definitely go get it checked out, because their hand's probably growing with that. And there's been a lot of times where I've seen, I'll go to a clinic and coach somebody, and I look at their fit and I go, ooh, it's almost like they're conventional because their hand had grown so much.
Right.
And so obviously having the right fit is important so you don't tear, but it's also important if you're going to get proper rotation on a ball.
Absolutely.
So, just keep an eye on that. And an easy, I tell people all the time, an easy way to do it is just have them put their thumb all the way in the ball and stretch your fingers out. And you can kind of tell if the hole's, right in this area, for example, it's probably too short.
Yeah. So I guess the bowling community wants me to ask Rhino the question.
Hey, I have to say, you didn't ask him.
I have to say, I got so hooked on talking about golf that I wasn't going to ask Rhino the question.
The Pebble.
I have to ask the ultimate question, Rhino, that I've asked every other PBA person that we've had on. So over the course of your career, who's been the one person that is always the person that's been the proverbial pebble in your shoe, the person that's always in your way, where you say, oh, no, it's him again, and it's going to be that kind of match back and forth right to the bitter end? Who's that bowler?
This is an easy one for me, because for whatever reason, I bowled him I think 9 to 11 times on TV. Wes Malott.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it seemed like every time I made a show, Wes was in my way. And Wes is one of those guys when he's on TV, it seems like he's always got a 279 or better in his bag. Right? But you don't know which game is coming.
Right.
The only times that I beat him, he bowled that game before he bowled me. I mean, the guy is an absolute monster. He strikes so much, it's crazy. And he was always one where I'm like, uh-oh.
Yep.
I'm going to have to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him to have a chance.
To beat him, yeah. Plus, he's too big, too, so you can't even,
he's twice your size.
Yeah,
what am I going to say? If I talk trash, he might just pick me up and take me outside.
I mean, look it up at him. He's a big dude.
Well, I can see that. Yeah, that's a great answer.
And his son, I mean, he's tall boy, too. He's out there bowling junior gold. The first time I met him, I was like, oh, yeah. And the cool part about that is that the pros are watching their kids. Parker talked about it.
Yeah, Parker did. Yes,
they're out there cheering on their kids, which is awesome. And he's another one. His kids are out there.
That's cool.
Bowling. Hey, I do want to touch on one other thing. And, with you have been involved in different charities over your career, and always one of the first guys to say, hey, I'm in and help out. And we've got a family here in Long Island that you've been a part of, and down in Florida. I mean, you're always doing so much. And so I want to say thank you. And certainly everybody appreciates what you do, but you want to talk a little bit about the charitable work that you've done over the years. And just, I mean, it's not just you, but I mean, you attach your name to something and that's something that you should be proud of.
Sure. Yeah. My second year, which was 12 years ago, I think. I met a kid in a pro-am in Long Island. His name is Tyler Cassiopo. He was just a young kid at the time, maybe 10 years old.
Yeah.
And nothing was different about that day than any other day until afterwards when his mom came over and said, I don't know what you did, but I haven't seen my kid that happy in a long, long time. He's very sick. And I said, wait, what? Like who? And so she pointed at Tyler and I went, you're kidding me. He's sick? Like I would have never known. And so I said, hang tight, I'll be right back. And so I got a ball and a jersey and everything out of the locker room. And I gave my email and I said, hey man, if you ever need somebody to talk to, you can just email me anytime. It comes right to my phone. I didn't know that he was going to email me 5 times a day. And so, we grew a friendship and the more I dug into it, I didn't know what Crohn's was. And so I work with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Now that's my official charity. And I got to learn, firsthand how rough that is for many people through Tyler. And when I found out about the medical expenses and everything else, I said, how can I help? And so we started the first Lace Up to Strike Out Crohn's and Colitis charity event in Long Island. And we had our 10th one last year, which is amazing. Like, how time flies. And, mind you, Tyler was just up to my waist at the time we started this. And now he towers over me and, is halfway through college already.
Terrific.
It's been a really special time for me. And we also got to do a thing called Team Challenge, which is they do half marathons, full marathons, triathlons, and all that to raise money for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And so we did a half marathon together in Jamestown, Rhode Island. And that was one of the most special times ever because you're surrounded by folks that suffer with these diseases or their closest family members are, and you get to really hear their story. And what a wonderful time. I hate running, by the way, but I would do that again any day of the week, because you only live once, and I really believe in giving back and helping others, so it's been a very special ride for me. And I'm thankful that we were able to raise over $400,000 in the 10 years.
That's
just
great.
for a 3-hour event in Long Island. So thank you for everybody in your area that's supported us year after year.
That's
I'm
fantastic.
looking forward to, once we get this COVID through, to having our 11th annual.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Patty works really hard on that. Patty and Tommy, they're a great family.
Yeah.
And the kids,
Yeah. Here in New York, we now just call it all that shit happening around us. And we've been drinking probably more Tito's and Fireball than ever.
Yeah,
And
we're
I
drinking
feel.
everything.
I'm surprised you didn't tell the Fireball story, Frank.
Rhino.
Save that for another day.
Probably shouldn't be told.
We'll save that for next time.
There we go.
He might be the reason why I drink Fireball. Hey, Rhino, really, thanks again for dropping in with us and being a part of our show today.
Yeah, really great.
you.
Hey, Rhino, one thing though, before he goes, got to invite him next year to the golf outing.
I was
He's got to come
just
play.
thinking that. You read my
He's
mind.
got to come play that because the golf outing is golf, and at the end of the golf outing, Fireball. Oh wait, during the golf outing, Fireball, and after the golf outing, Fireball. So we got.
There we go.
Yeah, come out and play, Rhino.
Can we play Bethpage Black the day before, just so I can suffer a little bit?
You know what? If you're gonna do that, then I'll go with you and we'll suffer together. I'll probably shoot like 180, but yeah, whatever. We'll go.
Perfect. I'm in.
Mark the calendar, Friday, May 7th. In case you're not bowling,
Right? Yeah.
Friday, May 7th is our. Usually there's an event
There's
over
an
those
event.
couple of
Yeah,
weekends.
there
we-
is.
Parker has played once. I think Parker played with us.
Parker played
Couldn't
once.
play. Johnny played.
Johnny
I mean,
Petraglia
for the
plays
seniors,
all
for
the
the
time.
older guys,
Yeah.
it's easier for them
Yeah.
not to be around.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get the other guys because there's always an event going on. But you never know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Come out and play.
you got it. We'll get him here we're gonna have to get him back to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Sometime soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I miss New York.
You should. Greatest city in the world. I don't care what anybody else says.
That's right.
Hey, and I'm on the Brooklyn Styles too. You know what I mean?
Forget about it. You're on the right team. Forget about it.
Too funny. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Rhino,
Rhino.
talk to you soon.
Thank you. It was great.
Rhino Page, everybody.
It was fantastic. See, I started off calling him Mr. Page, and by the end of the show, I was saying, forget about it.
Forget about
Yeah.
it.
Good stuff.
He
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
And because he said it, he as a kid, Rhino's not my name. My name is Ryan.
Ryan.
And so I mean, and so before I actually said it by accident.
Yeah.
He doesn't use it.
Yeah.
But I had said
Oh, Ryan.
Ryan, and that's what
Yeah.
he was laughing about.
Yeah.
And I only said it because he brought it up.
Cool. Cool.
But Rhino, it sticks. I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
Very good.
Hey, John from Florida made sure he said hello to us a couple times there.
What's
I
up,
saw that.
wild man?
Visiting-
Joe
Oh,
and
boy.
Michelle are down there. Very nice.
Oh.
And I meant to comment about John when he was on set that day and he was standing in
In your
my
space.
spot here. But he looks fantastic.
He didn't cough, so I think you're okay.
No, it's fine. It's okay. I've traveled with John. We've gone to bowl nationals together. We have stories that we will not share during the show.
Oh boy,
Right.
We can share when the show's over
we all
about
have those stories.
some
Yes,
things that
we
we
do.
about some things that we did, but that's for another day and
Oh.
when we're off camera. So yeah, but John looks good.
He does. He really does.
Yeah.
So it was great seeing him and everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've been sharing some memes of the day, and so just because we're talking about bowling, this was somebody sent this along. I thought it was cute.
Oh.
Yes.
Poor Boo.
Boo,
I wanna go
we
bowling.
are with you. We all want to go bowling.
We definitely do.
And I really shared it because bowling is spelt right in this one.
Yes,
Well, thank God.
thank God. Yes,
It's not Boeing.
yes,
It's not bowling.
yes.
And we've also been sharing some old photos through our 25th anniversary. And
Oh.
here's one. I don't even want to share it, but I
Go
might
for
as
it.
well.
Go for it.
And we ended the show, and Rhino was talking about charity work and something that we all know that we do here.
Uh-huh.
So this was my
Oh,
dad,
boy.
and my brother, and I
Oh, look at
looking
Frankie.
terrible,
Wow.
Young Frank.
presenting a check for the Staten Island Children's
The
campaign.
Echo, right?
Wow.
Actually, this is I think this is kind of pre-Echo. I think
Is
Echo did Echo kind of grow out of? I mean, Echo started to kind of grow out of that. I
Right.
thought
Oh,
the Staten
wow.
Island the Children's
That's a great picture.
Fund, which the Advance sponsored for a long time. and
right,
so,
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an
Echo, I
awful
think,
photo,
did come after that.
I mean,
I can't believe how young you and Tommy are there.
good
Oh
old-
my God.
And you know,
Tommy looks close to the same. A little older.
yeah,
Tommy
I'm
looks like
just
Henrik
fatter, that's my
Stenson in that
issue.
picture.
Uh,
Wow.
and Lou is still cracking at it, man.
Yes, he is.
Lou
Wow.
is running the UAU. It does work. He doesn't run it anymore, but he's still doing some work for
Yes,
them and
active.
active. 80.
God
It's my
bless him.
dad's age. They all went to school together.
Wow. God bless him.
Cool stuff. Staten Island always finds its way.
Yeah.
Yep,
back
Staten
to-
Islanders
I don't
find
know
their
what
way
year that's
back
from. But
together.
it's
Yes,
like
we do.
97, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, Kevin's going to Myrtle for a week. Don't miss him.
Yeah, he's gonna go check out his. He's gonna
His
go
new
check out his
house.
house.
The home,
His
and I'm
wife-
sure play some golf and
his
very
wife
nice.
shared a picture of the house today, and
Excellent.
It looks fantastic, and so
Excellent.
I'm
exciting
excited for them.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a good
excited for
thing.
them, but we're gonna miss
It's
them.
Gonna miss them.
Yeah.
But now we have a place to go golf.
This is true.
Yeah.
Road trip.
We're coming down eventually when you move in, just so you know.
And you should see the lake.
I'm sure.
There's a nice
I'm
lake
sure.
right behind their house.
I'm sure.
Hey, so I can't believe it's Sunday.
Tomorrow.
It's Saturday already. Tomorrow
Tomorrow's
is Sunday.
Sunday.
This
Yeah.
is episode 74.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Who would have
Where is the
thought?
time going?
Where has it gone?
Joe, we played hooky last week.
I know. I saw that. And as you know, I texted you both and said, "Great idea. Take a day, play hooky, be a little tardy. It's okay. It's okay. You guys deserved it. Poolside, outside. It was great. Excellent.
So I'm glad that you approve.
I approve. I was out golfing, so it was great. It was a great day.
Right.
It was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
It was great.
We got the stamp of approval.
Stamp of approval for
Thumbs
playing-
up all
for-
around.
for playing.
It was
hooky.
good. Yep.
Episode 75 tomorrow, and before you know it, I mean,
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep on rolling. We're here until further notice, right?
Yeah.
Joe?
Yes.
UFN.
2 p.m. every
Absolutely.
day. This week, exciting. We've got Danielle McEwing on
Very
the
nice.
show. We'll talk food with Pam Silvestri.
Very nice.
Saturday, PBA champion and past
Andrew
USBC
Andrew
Kane.
Kane,
president,
right?
Andrew
And
Kane.
I
Speaking of the
believe-
lefties, another lefty.
One day, I'm not sure we're going to have Joe DiModio
Oh,
and Joe Laverty.
Oh, the Joes.
Oh,
The Joe
yeah.
show.
Joe
Finally.
and
I mean,
Joe.
we've been
The
trying to
Joe
get talked
show.
about it.
the
Joe
Joe and Joe
Square.
They're
show.
both like busy,
Yeah.
super busy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's trying
Guys,
to
I'm
get
busy.
there. Huh?
You're busy.
Everybody's
I'm
busy.
busy.
Joe's
Everybody's
busy.
busy.
But you're right.
But
We're all busy
that's
in
good,
our own
though.
way.
I'm going
That's
to let
good.
you handle that with that.
No,
We're working on it. We're
Good,
gonna
work
get
it. Make it
we're-
happen.
We're going to make
Very
it happen.
nice. Very, very nice.
Joe Square.
Yes.
And two totally different time frames of working with
Yeah,
advance,
yeah.
which,
Covering
Two
sports. Yeah,
really
very good.
knowledgeable sports fans. Maybe we'll get their take on what's happening with sports right now.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
looks like
oh.
football's back. Basketball's coming back.
Hockey,
Hockey's coming back.
baseball. Get
Guess
your
who's
act
not
together.
coming back?
Get
It's
your
not gonna
act
happen.
together. You know what, Nez?
They are getting further apart.
I'm starting to
instead of
believe that.
closer Together.
But on a good note, live golf is back next week.
Golf is
Live
back.
golf on
Bowling's
Thursday.
back.
Bowling is back. We're at baseball. Very disappointing. Very,
You know,
very disappointing.
Disappointing in, I don't want to keep laying it on at the players' feet,
No, I know.
but both sides need to just
They do, but
Hammer it out. Hammer
make
it
it
out.
work.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's big money involved.
yeah.
But all the other sports too.
I know.
Frankie, go ahead, speak.
No.
Well,
It's sad.
it is sad. I mean,
certainly both sides need to come to the table and get somewhere.
Yeah.
yes.
But I mean, it's the players. I mean, I don't know who their representation. I don't know what's happening.
I agree.
But it's sad. It's
yeah,
sad.
I just don't understand.
So
Greed comes to mind, and I hate
Definitely.
to say something like that. But
Definitely.
there's something happening there that's a little bit more than,
Yeah.
And I don't look at anybody's
in
pocket.
anybody's pocket, right?
And I believe they've worked their way to that point to get those contracts and make their money. To me, it's not about the dollar amounts,
That's right.
but they've now made it about the amount of dollars that what they're playing. And
That's right.
this is not something that is out of everybody's control. There's only so much you can do, and they're trying to make the best of it. So I can only echo really that sentiment. Just let's love, Naz. They need love.
They got to get it together.
Wearing my spread love hat tomorrow.
There you go. Excellent. Excellent.
And yeah, thanks, Kevin. Best year to be a Met fan. Ha ha.
Oh boy.
Ha.
Isn't he leaving yet? Didn't he leave?
Did he leave?
Yet?
It's still June. We're
Well,
still in
as
June,
a Yankee fan, I'm not commenting. I try to stay neutral, so I'm, but
sure, you can say whatever.
that's okay. Shout out today to all of our former, past, and current military. 76 years ago today, Normandy invasion.
Yeah.
76 years ago today, my
Well,
Uncle
there you
Tony, God bless him, he's going to be 95. He was a survivor of the Normandy invasion, and spoke to him last week. He's sharp as a tack. He's the best. He is truly one of the greatest generation that is still,
Correct.
thank God, is still with us. And a shout out to all those who were there that day, and all those who served, and all those who still serve.
Thank you.
Bless them. Yep.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yep.
And Rob, the only thing I will agree, I'm going to say shameful. It might be a good word to use there.
Yeah, it is
baseball.
shameful, Frank. But you know what? The other sports are going to be
there.
going right through the summer, which would normally be baseball
The
season.
length of the
So-
season certainly makes a difference,
Yeah.
too, right? So you think about the length of the season
Yeah.
baseball. I mean, there's right. I think Rhino mentioned it too.
Yep.
They also thrive on people butts in the seat. So
Mhm.
I totally understand that.
Yep.
We've got to get somewhere.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But basketball, hockey, and golf, and everything else will be here, and football will be back before
I
you
can
know
only
it.
watch
So
so much new TV.
I know.
I'm looking for live. I'm looking forward to catching some bowling tonight.
Yeah, tonight I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to that
Excited
too.
to watch
for sure.
Jupiter, Florida. They are.
Yeah.
So the PBA posted that it was in Jupiter. It said something. The post was like something like Florida, but then Jupiter was
Jupiter,
separate.
right, yeah.
So people read it like we haven't even got to Mars.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
on Jupiter already.
Yeah. Well, at this rate, the way the world is going, they
You
may as well
never
bowl on
know.
Jupiter. Yeah.
Correct.
Hey, we're gonna get to Mars though. Those guys.
Eventually.
I mean,
Yeah.
overshadowed. Amazing
Yeah.
stuff happened in the
Space
world.
launch. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Good
space
stuff.
launch.
Yeah.
Got a full moon.
Yeah.
Full moon right now.
Full moon.
That could explain a lot of what's going on.
Yeah. Let's.
But
I'd say,
anyway,
yeah.
hey, happy Saturday. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rhino.
Yeah,
Naz,
that's great.
tell everybody we got to like and share and spread
Smash
some love.
the like button and subscribe.
Yeah, but first we got to eat these Napoleons.
Don't you want to
and then-
know when we're coming on? Come
Smash
on.
it. You know how and it was easy.
There it is.
The easy button.
We'll see you tomorrow.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Have a good weekend.
I totally. Oh, goodbye,
Ciao.
guys.
Bye.
Take care.